How many postcodes are there in the country?
There's about 1.5 million active postcodes, but Sonar's a bit better than that because it describes all postcodes that have ever existed. So the directory itself contains about 2.5 million postcodes these days, and everyone has a Sonar code associated with them.
That's a phenomenal amount of data that goes into this product.
Yes, a lot of data goes in. Something like 300 to 400 different variables went into it.
So Sonar has two aspects to it in terms of it describing the population. One which is affluence based and one which is life stage based. Can you give us an explanation of how those two things are put together and how they work together?
When I built Sonar, I felt it was very important that Sonar was a good discriminator according to a number of key dimensions. And the first key dimension I wanted Sonar to be particularly good at was in identifying areas by affluence. So a broad range of variables that describe and predict affluence in different ways went in. So for example, from the census we have information about your occupation. We have information about your social grade. We have information about the type of property you live in, whether it's detached, how many rooms there are. All of those are good predictors of affluence. We also have stuff about educational attainment, and we have stuff on car ownership, all of which are good predictors. On top of the census data, we've overlaid other data which can be associated with affluence, such as your council tax band, such as house price, and likelihood of debt and things like that. So all of that information is used to come to a better prediction as to what is an affluent area and what is a less affluent area. The second dimension to Sonar is the dimension of what I call life stage. That is, as we go through life, we start off life as a young single, then we become married and we don't have children, and we get children come along, and then the children grow up and we become empty nesters, and eventually we become retired people. So that life stage dimension is also encapsulated within the Sonar classification. And here we have information about household composition, how many people live in the household, the age of people who live in the household, how many children are present, how many adult children are present, and information of that sort, which is used to come to a view as to life stage. And those two things in combination are used to describe all areas of the country, and Sonar ultimately is broken up into 80 different areas, described each one by those dimensions, and can be used very simply and easily because it's a directory ultimately of postcodes. And if it's a directory of postcodes, it can be overlaid onto any file that the customer or client may wish.